Someone once said, "The more things change, the more they stay the same." A flower grows and blooms, but it doesn't stop being a flower. William Varner and the early settlers came to Golden Valley seeking a home. Almost 80 years later, the dream was still alive. Golden Valley was receiving new settlers.
I had sent Edith money home when I was out in the islands during the war, and she saved almost every penny. So we had that as a base to start, and then I said the rest of it basically was cigarette money. Everybody else smoked, I didn't. So my cigarette money went into building our home.
This was the second edition of Lakeview Heights. And I thought, hey, that sounds kind of sophisticated.
And our street was called Dolliver. We were on 1417 Dolliver.
And you can't see the lake, so that's rather misleading.
Yeah,
It was
the street
plotted,
wasn't there, no.
But there wasn't any street.
It had been plotted in around 1916. The land was plotted out then to sell to the spouses of the servicemen, and when they come home, maybe they'd build a home. Not many did. We had no streets, we had nothing at all. And so I started, we got a contractor to come in and dig a hole, and from then on, why, things just kind of multiplied, and you went along with it. Sometimes you wished you wouldn't have.
Consider the fact that all of the land in Golden Valley once sold for 4 cents per acre. At least that's what the U.S. government paid for it through the Louisiana Purchase of 1803. In the overall scheme of things, 60 years doesn't seem like such a long time. But in the 40s and the early 50s, the wind of change was starting to be felt.
In fact, the Varner family allowed us to cut a path between our house and theirs, and their children and mine played together along with some children behind us. My mother-in-law owned some property behind us that the kids had a big ball field in. The kids used to play ball there all summer long. In fact, we got some static about it when she sold the property. They said, why can't we just keep at least one lot for a ballpark?
Over the traffic roar, we're located about half a mile east of Highway 100 on the pedestrian footbridge over Interstate 394. Originally, this intersection of Highway 100 and Highway 12, the old interstate, was the first cloverleaf intersection in Minnesota. At that particular time, this location had the greatest amount of traffic of any site in this state. You know, the development of 394, because it impacts so heavily on Golden Valley, was a highly controversial issue to the people, to the businesses, and to the neighborhoods. And the city council did a marvelous job of working with MnDOT and the communities affected to understand what was happening.
Okay, we're standing on the site of what used to be the old Golden Valley Theater and later became the Dahlberg Hearing Aid Company. It's directly across the street from today's City Hall from Golden Valley. At the time, before this whole area was renovated, Country Club Drive and Golden Valley Road came together back this way, maybe about a block or so, in the old days. And right about where we're standing is where the old Dahlberg Company originally was, back in about 1950. That building was a converted Golden Valley movie theater. The old Dahlberg building actually spread down this way, and parking was along the street and off to the left-hand side here with a large parking lot for all the employees back in 1950. This building was still here in 1988, and then this area started to redevelop. Ken Dahlberg, the founder of Dahlberg, came back from World War II as an ace. Actually, he was in the Air Force. He went to work for a local electronics company, and it was there that he started to develop ideas for a hearing aid program, as well as a pillow radio that could be used for patients in hospitals. And that's how the thing started. His initial employer didn't want anything to do with that. So he said, evidently, well, I think I'm going to do it by myself, and started looking around the Twin Cities for a place to develop his building and a manufacturing facility for those products. The theater was here. I think it probably was closed or about to close, and he thought this was a great opportunity to reconvert a building at probably a low cost. Dahlberg very definitely made it on a national level, starting out very small with these little pillow radios and branching on to hearing aids shortly thereafter. They actually were the innovators and the makers and inventors of the first in-the-ear hearing aid, which came about 1955. And as the story goes, they didn't have a name for it. Everybody was calling it a hearing aid, and it was very small, and it fit in a person's ear with no wires. And so somebody asked him, from what I understand, you know, well, what do you call it? And he said, well, you know, I can't quite figure it out, but, you know, it's a miracle that it works. That must be it. It's a miracle ear. And it stuck and became synonymous with in-the-ear hearing aids today in the world. 4100 Dahlberg Drive. This building was built in 1991 and opened in 1991 as the Dahlberg Company's Miracle Ear World Headquarters. It's hard to believe that we're still in Golden Valley when you compare this with the original site. And, this brick and mortar facility housed over 500 manufacturing people and probably a couple hundred people involved in administration, marketing, and all the other aspects of the business, all on 3 floors. And I can remember looking out my window from the office up on top here and seeing deer walking around out there in the woods from time to time. So although we're very close to the downtown Twin Cities, we're not very far from the country when we're here.
The Golden Valley Historical Society was established in 1974 as an independent nonprofit corporation with the mission of discovery, preservation, and dissemination of historical knowledge about the city of Golden Valley. If you or someone you know have books, photographs, artifacts, or stories that relate to Golden Valley's history, please contact the Golden Valley Historical Society, currently serving the community with monthly meetings and programs during the academic year. Visitors and guests are always welcome.
Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed the show.